We're on our way to Animal Kingdom for Anya's birthday. Anya, say hi to the camera. Hi. Are you excited? What, baby? Yeah.
Hi, hello, and welcome. Welcome to our show. You know, we've been doing this act for over 300 million years. And with bugs making up more than 80% of the animal world, we're the biggest cast of them all. Still, you guys just don't seem to see us, so that's why we gave you those special bug eyes. Now, go ahead, put them on. Neat, huh? Yeah, now you're all honorary bugs, so, on with the show. Okay, thanks.
Ready to do your sandwich?
Okay.
that movie.
Cool. Yeah.
Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing.
Anya, say hi.
Thank you.
Lola, how you feeling right now?
I don't want to go to the side.
So this one is a 20-minute wait. You want that?
Yeah.
No. I know.
This one dinosaur the movie. He liked this movie.
I like this movie. I don't want to because you.
Baby, are you doing an up and down thing?
I control height. You control back and forth.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Gabriel, hi.
Please stay seated until your Triceratops comes to a complete stop. Please make sure you have all your belongings and walk.
So. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you're right. This is for us. Look! It's Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Say hi! Y'all can't see, but... Oh, it is! Oh, look, guys!
Let's hear some holiday cheer for Donald and his friends.
You know what that is? That's from the Death Tale, the guy. I don't know how I feel. There's no gate around there. Go jump. I did see an ostrich. Now, ostriches are the world's largest bird. They don't fly, but they do run 40 miles an hour. Okay, whatever. You'll be able to see its neck sticking up. Now, with the world's largest bird does come the world's largest egg. Each of them is around 3 pounds. They are the size of your face. They are extremely massive. A fully grown human can step on the egg and it will not break. Now, it does need over 250 pounds of pressure all at once in order for it to break the edge surface. You see that small runaway antslip out there? That's called the Bontoc. Kind of similar to the oryx with their story. There was only 17 of them left in the entire world back in the early 1800s. All 17 of them did wander onto a farm, and the farmer raised the Bontoc from going extinct. Very fortunate for the farmer for saving all the Bontoc. Now they're being poached for their brown coats, because if they're put in the right lake, they can actually radiate the color purple. Thanks to reserves like ours, numbers have increased from 17 back many years ago to just under, no, to about 3,000 here today in 2020. So again, a really great and successful conservation story. The farmer put them into a fenced-off area, kind of like how it is looking over here on the left-hand side. Now just remember, each and every one of you to never touch the animals by even just recycling. You can recycle your park maps, your water bottles, even by recycling your cell phones. A lot of these animals' homes are being mined for a mineral called cold sand, which is found in your electronics. So by recycling your electronics, you're going to help save the home of that animal. They can also donate to these conservation funds. Right now they're working with about 13 different species, including African wild dogs, sea turtles, tiger, coral, rhinos, and many other animals. So you can learn more about that at Rafiki Planet Watch or any merchandise location. Disney will match penny for penny, dollar for dollar if you decide to donate. So if you go buy something later, just round up your change and donate that to the conservation fund. I promise you, every penny does help to help protect the animals we know and love today. Now if you're looking for some more animals, head up the hill to the right. Once I drop you off, you'll find gorilla falls. Fortunately, it's a little bit too cold for a couple of the animals today, so the gorillas and the okapi probably won't be out. If anything, maybe they'll be out a little bit later once it warms up a little bit more, if it does. But you'll find animals over there. You can get a closer look at the hippo. They have some meerkats and some zebras over there for you to see. Over in Asia, you'll find the Maharaj Stone Trek. That's where the tiger and the water buffalo are located. Again, sometimes with the colder temperatures, not all the animals are going to be out today. But usually the bigger animals are. Not always, though. So we're going to be hanging here for just a couple moments before we can get unloaded here. Now, friends, you can feel free to come back and visit us anytime here at Kilimanjaro Safaris. No two safaris are ever the same. The animals do make sure that our last safari will be around 4:45 today, so make sure you're in line before. researchers here that work out on the reserve, they do help study the animals to help them live better in the wild. One thing that we did figure out here on the reserve is that the elephants are afraid of bees. And they're rather intelligent, like I said, they can hear up to 3 miles away. So our researchers played some different sounds for them to see if they did anything, and we found out that they were afraid of bees fairly quickly. So we ended up relaying that information to other reserves and farms around the world. It turns out in other parts of the world, elephants are bothering some farms and destroying everything. So the farmers decided to put beehives around the perimeter of their property in order for them to help keep the elephants away. It's pretty cool that we did that here in Animal Kingdom, as well as training crocodiles and common sound cues, and also making 2 species of wildebeest live together to take the large herd of wildebeest and all of human care. So I wonder what we're going to do next. Now, if you want to get a little bit of a backstage look at some of our animals here in Animal Kingdom, if you have Disney Plus, you can check out the magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom. There's 8 episodes released. They're only about 20 minutes. It's super easy to watch. Features a lot of the animals from our reserves, like the giraffes, the elephants, rhinos, tigers, we don't have tigers here in Africa, lions, and zebras. Features animals from Animal Kingdom Park, like the tigers, they're in Asia, and the gorillas and the barbarossa. Some from Animal Kingdom Lodge, as well as Epcot and the Sea. So it is a really great watch, and I really do recommend it. So not Animal Kingdom related, but Soul did drop on Disney Plus yesterday, and I cried at the end, in case anyone was wondering.
Actually,
Oh, there's more elephants right over here. I'm gonna pull up a little bit further. A group of elephants is called a memory. A group of giraffes is called a tower. A group of zebras is called a dazzle. A group of wildebeest is called a confusion, because when they stand there, they all look confused. It's not the actual reason, but it is the reason that I choose to believe is correct. There they are, right there, on the left. They don't sweat, so in order for them to help keep themselves cool, they'll flap their ears back and forth to use as their own form of ear conditioning. Right? Get it? Ear conditioning? Yeah, okay, never mind. They'll also blink dirt and mud on their backs. These is a form of sunscreen to help keep their skin protected from the sun, since their skin is very thin. Rhinos don't sweat either, but they don't have the added bonus of the large ears or a trunk, so in order for them to help keep themselves cool, they'll just roll about in the mud and have a grand old time. Here on the left-hand side, the largest pink flamingo in all of Africa. They stand 5 feet tall, weigh approximately 9 pounds. They get their color from the shrimp that they eat. They'll be born gray every day for a couple of years. Like shrimp, that's what's going to turn themselves that pink color. So maybe if you eat enough shrimp, you will also turn pink. Probably not. I don't eat shrimp, so I wouldn't know. When they sleep, they lay on someone's foot and bury their head in the back. It's called nesting. You'll see these gray flamingos over here. Those are the ones that were born in June. They were babies, and now they're fully grown, but they're not going to get any bigger, and they're also just over 6 months old, so they've entertained the gray color for quite a while. So this is the east side of the savannah, normally home to the white rhino. White rhinos get the name from an Afrikaans word, vite. It means a wide. They have a wider set jaw than the black rhino. Now they also like to live in a group called a crash. They have very poor eyesight, so the only way to know if they'll bump into something is if they crash into it. Take a look here to your right hand side, you'll see these white animals over here. Those are called a scimitar horned oryx. There was only 20 of them left in the entire world back about 20 years ago. One reserve over in Africa went and rescued them all, brought them to the reserve, repopulated them, and now there's over 90 of them living on this reserve today. Really great and successful conservation story. Now, hopefully with help of our reserve around the world, we'll be able to help repopulate them and hopefully get them back into the wild in the future. Alright, keep an eye out for a cheetah, fastest land animal, running up to a speed of 0 to 60 miles per hour in just a couple of seconds. They have black stripes by their eyes that will help out the perform with sunglasses and deflect the sun, since they hunt during the day, as opposed to nighttime predators that do hunt later at night. They're actually more successful than those nighttime predators as well. I don't see any over here. Normally they're in the way back fence line. So we'll keep going, see if we can find the lines. Cheetahs are the only predator to still purr when they reach adulthood. All the other bigger cats will or growl. So if you're ever in Africa and you hear purring from a bush, good luck. Now, lions are nocturnal. They do hunt later at night. Females will be the ones that will do the hunting, while the males do stay back and protect the pride, which is what we call a group of lions, is a pride. Now, they are only active for a couple of hours each day. They sleep for 20 hours. That means collectively, throughout their entire lifetime, they are only awake for 3 years. Now, that is with their 11 to 12-year lifespan, which is the same as a cheetah, except cheetahs are like us and are awake for more than half their life. You're going to see these brown animals that are kind of walking the other direction here on the right-hand side. These are the water buck. They are females, kind of similar to the greater kudu, whereas the males would have very large horns, and obviously ours don't have any, so ours are females. Now, they live by water. They drink a lot of water, hence the water buck. They also have a super oily substance on the coat, so when they come out of water, they are completely dry. Here's the lions on the left-hand side. We'll let them stop in just a moment. Their eyesight is just as good as ours is during the day. At night, theirs is 6 times as better than ours is, which is one of the reasons why they hunt at night, although they do normally rely on sound to catch their prey. years old. According to African folktale, the creator made the world. He had the world just the way he wanted it, but he reached his creation bag and he found a tree. Now he didn't want the tree since his world was perfect, so he threw it up over his shoulder and landed upside down, and now we have the baobab tree. Now the only other place to see one other than here in Africa is the Tree of Life. There's over 300 animals carved into the Tree of Life, so the next time you're over at it, starts to be a bug, try to find as many animals as you can, because I guarantee you are going to find a different one every time you look.
There's a giraffe.
A couple animals over here on the right hand side, you'll see the cattle. They have very large horns. They span 6 feet tip to tip, but they are not heavy at all. They're actually made of a honeycomb structure. Their blood can run through them to help keep them cool. Now the cattle themselves are considered a symbol of wealth to some African people. So at the end of the night, they'll be herded into a tall grassy pen called a manyatta to help keep them safe. The giraffes we have here on the reserve are the Maasai giraffes, a little different than the articulated giraffes found up on the spotting guide. That's just like there's different kinds of cats and dogs, there's different kinds of giraffes. There's 9 different species, including reticulated, Maasai, northern, southern, and a couple others as well. There are the Maasai giraffes here on the reserve. If you make your way over to Animal Kingdom Lodge any point during your stay here in Central Florida, head over there. They have the reticulated giraffe over there. 20 feet tall when they're fully grown, 6 feet tall when they're born. Now they do get birth standing up, so the first thing that they experience is a 6-foot drop to the ground. Keep it out here to your left-hand side. You'll find some African wild dogs. Now they are not hyenas. They are a different animal and a different species. The dogs are in the canine family. The hyenas are in their own species called Hyenidae, not related to dogs or cats whatsoever. The hyenas do come out later, somewhere around 4:30, so come back then if you want to see them. Now, the African wild dogs are known as painted dogs. Each of them have a different coat that's unique. No 2 dogs are alike. They'll be in packs of 5 to 15 dogs that are dominant male and female. Just don't let their cuteness fool you. They are one of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa. They'll work together to arm the prey to the point of exhaustion. You'll see the sable antelopes over here on the left-hand side. They're the official emblem of our Harambe Wildlife Reserve. They stand to their predators and fight them. So if you can imagine an antelope funny line, sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. Their horns are curved backwards to deter larger predators from coming and attacking them from behind. They're all females. They have a chocolate-colored coat. The males would have a dark brown coat, almost black. Now, the giraffes do eat for about 20 hours of the day. They only sleep for 30 minutes. They won't sleep that full 30 minutes all at once. They'll do that in 5-minute intervals throughout the day, taking micronaps. They'll sleep standing up with their eyes open, so a good indicator to see if they'll be sleeping is to see if their mouth is moving. The one here to the left of us is one of our toddlers. They're about 2 years old. We have some adults, and we also have 2 babies as well. They're just 3 months old, so they're very cute. They're 2 weeks apart from one another. I'm not sure if we're going to see them today since it is rather cold outside. They might still be in their barn since it's really warm in there. But we'll keep an eye out. And if not, if you check out the Disney Parks vlog online, you'll be able to see pictures of the baby giraffe. They just stand over 6 feet tall. Maybe some zebras here on the right-hand side. I'm going to pull up just a little bit further for you. Now, the Hartman's Mountain zebras are what we have here on the reserve. Like I said, with different species of the giraffe, there's 3 different species of the zebra, many different subspecies. But we have the Hartman's Mountain zebras here on our reserve. They're the largest zebra species. They have the largest stripes of any zebra. They're the only species to have a dewlap, which is that little extra piece of skin underneath their neck. All it does is help regulate their body temperature. Now we know that they're black with white stripes, and we know that because they have a black nose, if they would have a pink nose, they would be white with black stripes. When they are born, they're born with the legs almost as long as they will be throughout their entire life. They also imprint on their mother, which means they recognize their stripe pattern for them to report back to the right zebra at the end of the night. Another zebra here to your right, as well as some small brown-and-white antelopes, such as the springbok and the wildebeests, are about the same size as those zebras. At the end of the night, or at 10:45 in the afternoon, the wildebeests will arrange themselves in rows and face different directions. They do that to rely on each other's alarm call to make sure everybody does stay safe throughout the day and the night. Wildebeests have one of the largest migrations in the entire world. They migrate once a year with up to 1.5 million wildebeests, up to 1,000 miles each. It's called the Great Migration, and it does happen every year in Africa.
That's not funny, Jacob.
I might have already said that, but that's okay. Another giraffe here on the left-hand side. They have 7 vertebrae in their neck, just like we do, except theirs is about a foot, ours is about an inch, so you can think of us as a short-necked giraffe. Thank you. I stole this from someone else, that's fine. Their tongue is 2 feet long and their heart is 25 pounds, about the size of a basketball. Quite a lot of weight from a giraffe. elephants are headed by a matriarch, so the female is the dominant one of the group. There are no males in that female herd unless they're under the age of 13. They're so intelligent, so if the males don't leave the female herd by the age of 13, they will literally kick them out. They go on their own to find a bachelor herd of elephants, which is comprised of older males that'll help teach that younger elephant how to become a better, mature, older elephant. We're going to pull around the corner, we'll get a side profile as opposed to the 9th wonder of the world, which is the back side. Duration of our safari day. That's for the safety and comfort of those around you, as well as the safety and comfort of all the researchers and animal keepers that do work here on our reserve.
Gabriel.
Also, they'll keep
Gabriel.
It is we are starting our safari off here in the Littlest Cherry Forest. It's home to animals that do it to camouflage themselves and blend in with their different surroundings. So here to your right, or sorry, left-hand side, you'll see some bondos. The orange animal bondos are known as the ghosts of the forest. They do voice chants to help them blend in with their different surroundings. Their horns are also curved, so when they dive into bushes to protect themselves from predators, they will not be hurt. If you see one over here that has a black face and a black neck, that's going to be our male. The male bonder's coat is darker with age. The female coat will stay the same throughout her entire life. A lot of people do think the way to tell them apart is by their horns and if they're crossed out, but that is a myth. The way to tell them apart is by their coat color. Now, if you were to be so lucky enough to pet a bondo, you will get a red residue on your fingertips from their coat color. Now, sometimes around a water hole, we can find the black rhinos. They're one of the smaller rhino species. They're only 3,000 pounds. Now, they are solitary animals. They do like to live alone. They're also a subspecies to the white rhino. Now, there's very rare to see one over here. There's less than 5,000 of them left in the entire world. Unfortunately, they're being poached for their horns, which contain a mineral called keratin. Now, that's what our fingernails are made up of. So, poaching your rhino for his horn is literally nothing. All keratin does is grow. It's very unfortunate. The poachers are after them for something that we don't even need. To your right-hand side, you'll see the greater kudu. We have females here on the reserve. Males would have very large spiral horns, and obviously they don't have any. Now they are the second tallest antelope. They can stand 5.5 feet tall to shoulder and jump almost 8 feet in the air. It's super impressive. Now if you look up on that spotting guide above your heads on either end, you'll see that greater kudu up there that has those large spiral horns. That's what the male will look like. Now our next stop is going to be the Sapi River. It's home to the Nile hippopotamus as well as the Nile crocodile. Now they are two very territorial animals as well as two of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa. A fully grown hippo will be up to 5,500 pounds. Baby hippos will be around 85 pounds when they're born. They are nocturnal. They do spend most of the day in the water sleeping, and they come up at the end of the night to graze. When they graze, they'll eat 80 to 90 pounds of vegetation per day. Now they can stay submerged in the water for up to 8 minutes at a time. They do have a natural instinct. If they were to fall asleep in the water, they'll pop up to the surface, grab a breath of air, and sink back down to the bottom without ever waking up. Pretty cool. I wish I could do that. Now they'll normally live in a bloat, B-L-O-A-T. Take a look to your left. There's a couple hippos over there. Now that bloat will usually consist of around 100 hippos. They'll walk along the bottom of the river to get around, and if you smell that, it's the hippo. They mark their territory with their poop.
Ew.
Oh, you're welcome for that bit of information. No need to take off your mask. It'll come through, don't worry. You'll see these pink-backed pelicans over here on the island. They get their color on their skin during mating season when they need to find a mate. They'll flock with between 20 to 500 pairs of pelicans. Quite a lot of birds, if you ask me. Now their wingspan is around 8 feet long. It's as long as the canopy on the top of this truck. That's going to be one big bird. Speaking of birds, the black ones are the Orlando vulture. The white ones are the Orlando ibis. The ducks are the Florida ducks. They all like to vacation here in Africa, and they never like to leave. I have a couple of researchers here on the left-hand side. Let's find out Nile crocodiles. Now, the Nile crocodiles are 20 feet long. They weigh approximately 500 pounds. They can also eat half of their body weight in one sitting. Now, their jaws are strong enough to squish anything that may come in their way. So if you see any with their mouth open, they're trying to regulate their body temperature because it does get very hot here in Africa. On land are called a bass. They're both crocodiles in the water. Now they can lay between 50 to 80 eggs in one sitting. They can roll them around in their mouth to help them hatch once the time comes, and they actually will transport them all in the mouth all at once. Now if you want to see a crocodile up close and personal, you can head into Dinoland. They are the closest only relative to the dinosaur. There is one across from Australosaurus for you to see up close and personal. Now our next stop is the Savannah, home to the lovely, the wonderful, the baobab tree here on the right-hand side. Now, the baobab tree is known as the upside-down tree. It does grow leafless from tonight.